In third person's point of view, the narrator is not in the story, unlike in the first person point of view, and the narrator narrates the actions of the characters in the story. He, she, and they are the pronouns used by the narrator to refer to the names of the characters in the story. Other pronouns used in third person's point of view are him, her, their, and so on. In this video, you will learn all you need to know about third person's point of view and how to use it in writing. The third person's point of view allows the narrator to describe the feelings, thoughts, and actions of the characters. A simple example is David is cooking. With this example, you note that David was the one cooking and not the narrator. So the narrator was not in the story, and the narrator was telling us what the character was doing, and the character was David. There are three types of third person's point of view that we are going to be looking at in this video. We have the objective, the limited, and the omniscient. We are going to be looking at the objective first. In objective third person's point of view, the narrator tells the readers the characters' dialogues, actions, and expressions, but they can't tell the reader exactly what the character is thinking or feeling. A good example is just as you're watching me talk to you, you can only see my expressions, my actions, and my dialogues, the way I'm talking to you, my words, but you don't know what I'm thinking, you don't know what I'm feeling right now. So, this is a very good example. Now, that is how the narrator of the objective third person's point of view writes like. A very good benefit of using the objective third person's point of view is that it allows the narrator to show and not tell. What I mean by this is that the narrator is forced to show more, describe more about what is happening to that character instead of just stating it like that. Just the way I gave that example of David is cooking. When it comes to objective third person's point of view, the narrator is able to describe how can we say that David is cooking without actually mentioning that David is cooking. Maybe you'll be like he was putting in Maggie to the pot or salt to the pot to taste it or pepper. The next one we are going to be talking about is the limited third person's point of view. In this kind of narrative, the narrator only knows the thoughts and feelings of one particular character, which is mostly the main character. In this kind of narrative, the narrator focuses on one character. And although this kind of sounds like the first person point of view, this limited third person point of view has more freedom than the first person point of view. Using this point of view actually helps to create suspense in your story. It is also good to use this particular point of view when you are writing a mystery story or novel if you want your readers to see the outcome of the story from one character's point of view. Also note that the third person's limited point of view can be used by the narrator by switching between different characters in different chapters. The next one we are going to be talking about is the omniscient third person's point of view, and this is also the most popularly used point of view. Omniscient means all knowing or knowing everything. In this, the narrator knows everything about the characters of the story or novel. The narrator also knows the thoughts and feelings of all the characters in the novel or story. So if you are starting out with using third person's point of view, using omniscient is actually easier to start with. And if you want to discipline yourself as a writer, using objective will be good to start with. Now let's move to the good sides and the bad sides of writing in third person's point of view. We're going to be starting with the good sides. The first one is that it allows you to build every character of your story. I mean, you can describe everything happening around your characters, their thoughts, their feelings, their actions, their expressions, their dialogues, every single thing. And with this, it's very easy for the narrator to describe and develop the characters of their story. The next is that it allows flexibility. The narrator is everywhere. They can switch to different character story. And this can pull your readers into your story because they are able to feel the experiences of the characters in the story and even relate or connect with any of them. The next one is that the narrator is reliable or truthful. Unlike in first person point of view, when the main character is not truthful to themselves, let's say that your main character thinks that he is good in maths, and then after writing the exam, he gets a 0. So it is now very clear that what he thought is not true. But in third person's point of view, the narrator is always truthful and correct because the narrator will definitely state it there that, hey, this character is not good in maths. Now, this brings us to the disadvantages or the downsides of using third person's point of view. The first one is that there are lesser connections with the characters. The more concentrated the narrator is on every character of the story, the more diluted the readers are in connecting with every character of the story. By the time the narrator gets into depth into all the characters of the story, the reader's connection with those characters won't be that strong anymore. Another disadvantage comes when there is a use of multiple characters. It may become confusing for the narrator to follow a character's voice, and it will now start making the narrator make all the characters sound the same way. To correct this, the narrator just have to be careful and follow each character's voice in order not to mix them up. So I'll be giving an example of a third person's point of view. Getting to a turnip plant that was standing firm in a flower pot, she observed it looked much better than she had met it the day before. Smiling, she turned her watering can to it, satiating its taste. Now, this sounds like an objective third person's point of view because there is no trace of the character's thoughts or feelings while that character was watering the turnip plant. To make this particular third person's point of view appear limited, you can add the thoughts of that character or how that character felt like when she was watering the turnip plants. Watering flowers can be tiring, she thought. Adding this will make it appear limited because you are now talking about only that particular character, her thoughts, and everything about her. Now, if you want it to appear in Omniscient's third person's point of view, you now have the freedom to now bring in more characters, talk about their feelings, talk about their thoughts. Another worker could walk up to her and help her, and then maybe you are able to move into that character's mind as well and talk about how they are feeling and their thoughts as well and all the stuffs. So this is the end of this video and I hope you found it very helpful. If it was, do subscribe and hit that notification button so you can always get notified whenever I upload helpful videos like this every week. Till next time.